My name is Travis Gardner. We're talking E4OD transmissions here, how they work, what their job is, things like that. We're going to cover some hard parts. We're not going to cover all of them. We don't have time, um, but we are going to cover quite a few and the important ones. So this right here is what an E4OD transmission looks like. Assuming it's out of the vehicle, inside the vehicle is a whole different can of worms. Outside the vehicle is easy for teardown, all that other stuff, identification parts. So on to the first main component, torque converter. As you can see, it's a cylinder. You're going to look at it, and it's going to look like a circle in the front of your transmission, right inside your bell housing. It literally bolts to the back of your motor, the flywheel on the back that spins. This causes transmission fluid pressure. This runs your transmission. I would describe this as the heart of your transmission. This little circle here is capable of 200 psi worth of transmission fluid pressure, and it's needed. It's when transmissions get shifting rough, they lose gears. It's because this is not producing enough psi. Basically how it works is it's a bunch of fins inside of this thing that are angled in such a way that when the motor spins it, they basically pressure the fluid into shooting back through this little cylinder on the back here. It is an efficient system. It really is. It pressurizes the fluid very well. Unfortunately, with transmission fluid and this, the little fins can wear with time, just like the creek bank down here in Port Neuf River. They erode, 200 psi is a lot, even for metal. And even though it's designed to hold that and to produce that much pressure, it's not going to last forever. They're going to wear out. It just happens. Debris can get in there, and it can cause a gritty kind of transmission fluid that'll wear it out faster. So definitely change your transmission fluid to help the fins live longer. That's the first thing. The second thing that we're going to talk about is the valve bodies. They're right here. I don't know if you can see them very well in this video, but each of these four valve bodies right here are from an E4OD transmission. They're little maze-like structures built out of aluminum. Some of them have little ball bearings in them with springs. It's a maze. Valves. This is where that fluid goes. 200 psi through these little maze of valves. This is what tells your transmission to shift and when not to, and when to hold gears and all that fun stuff. If you lose your overdrive, this can be a problem. You can have crossflow and gaps that aren't right, or gaps that are filled with debris. All this stuff. The tolerances are so tight right here that you have to keep your transmission clean. Your fluid. If your fluid gets dirty, it wears these out like that. This is aluminum. It wears. They have troubles. Luckily, there's aftermarket everything for these because they've been around. These transmissions are available in most late 90s model Fords. They have a brother transmission called the 4R100 that's almost identical, looks the same, operates 99% the same. They have a little more electronics just to kind of go with the times. The newer motors have more electronics. They need more input. Transmission's got to keep up. Anyway, these are the valve bodies. Important to keep clean. Most of the time, any rebuild is going to replace these because they wear 200 psi in those little maze, those little tunnels, little tubes. Tough. These are located underneath your transmission pan. Very bottom of the motor. Pull that off. These will be sitting up above the transmission fluid filter, and they tell your transmission to shift gears. These are in control. That's how your transmission knows you need to be in third or fourth. Overdrive in this case. The E4OD fourth is overdrive. Next thing we're talking about is clutch packs. Huge, important piece of the puzzle. These are designed for heat. Remember that. They take the heat. That's the point. They add pressure, keep the heat off the gears, the actual solid gears that are in there rotating. Okay, these are designed for the heat. They wear. Over time, I have 250,000 miles on mine. My clutch packs are just starting to wear. These dispel heat. They're designed for it. When they wear out, they don't put debris in your transmission that's going to ruin your transmission as long as you keep up on fluid changes. If you don't ever change your fluid, your transmission's toast. sorry, there's nothing else to say. That it's just done. You're toast. But these little babies, you can get super high priced ones. You can get middle of the road factory replacement. A lot of them are going to do the same thing. They dispel heat. They add pressure to keep your transmission holding the gears. A lot of people talk about slipping transmissions. When they slip, these guys are worn. Pressure holds the gears. That fluid pressure pushes these into the gears, selects which one you need to go into. Third gear, bam. These guys got the pressure. Burnouts in your dad's car, these guys are what you're wearing on. Just know that. They wear. They take the heat. Something's got to. Right here, your output shaft. Your rear tail shaft. They're called a lot of different things. The last piece to touch any kind of momentum from your transmission. Right here on this end, your drive shaft has a yoke that slips over it, spins your drive shaft. Last part, literally tail end. This baby is solid. One piece machined aluminum, steel, depending on years and what kind of applications. Takes a lot of heat. Handles it well. It's a sturdy piece, and this transmission is very sturdy. There is a weak link involved with this, and we'll cover that after we cover this. This basically, it goes all the way through transmission, from the back side of your valve body all the way down. Your gears hook to it, engage it. This is what spins your tires. Okay, all of the spinning goes through this. Very important. Without it, your tires aren't going to rotate. You're just going to roll around wherever you want to push it. A lot of upgradability. They make bigger shafts, littler shafts, all sorts of different ones for different applications, from truck pulls to economy, all that crap. Very sturdy. You know, not something you have to address if you're rebuilding. This right here, weak spot. One of the weak spots. I'll highlight both weak spots here at the end real quick. Center carrier bearing. It's machined aluminum. It gets some play in it. That whole shaft going through the back of your transmission will start to wobble, going up and down and up and down. That'll eat your case like crazy. That'll kill. This is the #1 killer of E4OD transmissions. And they have replacements for this machined, super high quality steel. It's basically a bearing. Keeps it from wobbling, keeps the play out of it. As soon as there's play in it, it'll start eating other components. It's not going to ruin your tail shaft. It'll be ruined, and it'll ruin other components. If you notice some play, you'll get lots of vibration. But this basically just keeps your tail shaft running true the way it needs to. Any questions? Before we're done, the problems with this transmission is the torque converter and that carrier bearing that I showed you. This guy right here. The torque converter wears out. It's not really something you can avoid. Regular maintenance is the only thing you can do for that. Clean fluid's not going to wear it out as fast. Over time, it's still going to wear out. It erodes the pressures and the tolerances that are necessary in these transmissions. It's going to cause some erosion. You're going to lose some stuff. Keep up on your maintenance. Both of these are replaceable. The torque converter is going to be your biggest cost. Basically, everything is trying to transfer energy as efficiently as possible. Your motor's turning. Your gears are turning at different rates. The different amount of gears is important. If you think about it, semis commonly have 12 to 18 speeds. That's a good thing. You can get better fuel economy, more power to the ground, more efficiency with a lot more gears. You can kind of watch the evolution. Older pickup trucks from the 3 on the tree setup, 55 miles an hour was top speed. They didn't have a big deal. Right now, 80 miles an hour top speed, you need more gears. That's why Ford and Dodge have both gone to 10-speed automatic transmissions. I hope this helped you learn a little bit more about transmissions and what they do and some of the components. Thank you for listening.